Welcome to the Vine Life Podcast. I'm Tony Clark, your host. My special guest today is Robby Johnson. Now, Robby is a Nashville-based country music singer and songwriter. He's got a brand new single that's coming out August 1st, and if I check my calendar correctly, I think that's tomorrow. And the title of this track is You Pick the Flowers. Now, this heartfelt song was inspired by a vision he once held close but never got to live. It paints a tender picture of vows, rings, and second chances. Robby's music has been featured on Sirius XM's The Highway, Crook and Chase Countdown, Fox's Huckabee, The Late Show with David Letterman, and many, many more. Now, more information can be found about Robby and about this upcoming single at robby-johnson.com, robby-johnson.com, and I'll provide the link underneath the interviews as well. But Robby, I can't thank you enough for coming on the program today.
Tony, thank you so much for having me on the program. It's a pleasure to be back. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And I did want to have you on to talk about this new single. It's called You Pick the Flowers.
I'll pick the cake and you pick the flowers. And you pick the flowers.
And listening to this, it's a very good song, by the way. Listening to this song, and I love to read the lyrics while I'm listening to the song. Now, this song, it really seems personal to you. Take me back. What's the emphasis? What's the tell me about this song simply.
All right, so it's really a way for me to rewrite my story with my wife because I never got on a knee and with a ring and propose and do it the right way. And I mean, it happened so fast for us. It was the worst wedding ever. I mean, it wasn't in church. It was in a cold room. No vows, no flowers, no music, no nothing. And we were both crying and it wasn't tears of joy. It was really because it is the worst wedding ever. And my brother and sister-in-law were there as witnesses and they were like, "Oh, this is so cute. Wow." And like, no, it's not cute. This is not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to happen. So this song is kind of a way to rewrite that story and make it right. That's what music is good for many things. And that's one of them where you can, you're going to a hard time in your life and you will listen to very, you know, cool music, very light music to cheer you up and about stories that never happen in your life, but you're like, oh, it'd be cool if this happened to me. So just for an instant, you just live that moment through that song. So it's kind of the same thing for me for this one.
One of the lyrics in this song that really struck me is, and I think it's a fantastic lyric. It kind of, because you're not only a singer performer, but you're a songwriter as well, and that's what I appreciate. And one of the lyrics in this song
Thanks.
is, "My knees been on the ground since third grade." So that takes me back. That takes me back. If I was in that experience, I think back to the third grade many years ago when I was there. Tell me about some of the lyrics in this song that really hit home.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I mentioned in the song, third grade, we've been bouncing around since third grade. And it's funny because it evolves through the years. We're bouncing around at school, around the playground, but then later on, bouncing around in the back of the truck or something, it has a different meaning. So I thought it was cool, and I was wondering, I don't know if people are going to get this or not, but yeah, it's always great when you come up with those lines that have, a double entendre or that evolves with the song in the song, where when you first hear it, it has a meaning, but when you get to the end of the song, it has a totally different meaning. One of my songs that I released, Trying to Get Over You, which I mean was really a song that at the end of the song you get the twist and the big picture and you realize how much this song is so country and so sad. And so when you listen back a second time knowing this, it has a bigger impact on you. And so I like when, music does that. It's cool.
Absolutely. Now, this song, it sounds more laid back. It's got some great guitar melodies in it. Tell me about the
Yep.
songwriting process for this specific song.
Well, I mean, every song is pretty much the same for me. I just sit down, I grab the guitar, I just fool around with a chord progression, or sometimes it's at the piano, and I just let it out. And this one, it just came out that way really quick. And then of course you sit down and you tweak it for hours until it feels right. But it came out pretty quick, and I really enjoyed doing it. And it's funny because oftentimes it's after you've wrote the song, you realize, oh, this is close to home, this song is close to home. And it's probably something, like I said, I'm trying to rewrite my own story, take something that wasn't that beautiful and make it beautiful. So that's the process for this one. It just came out of honest and authentic place.
Well, absolutely, and it certainly comes through as being that. Tell me about some of the collaborators that helped you with.
Right. So I gotta say, there's Andrew Mandelson mastering, Sean Moffat mixing, and also Danny Rader, who's producer, and the guy's a musical genius. He plays on, I mean, he was in the Sphere with Kenny in Vegas. He plays with Kenny Chesney. Before that, he was with Keith Urban, has played with Jason Aldean. I mean, he's an amazing player, plays every instrument you can think of. And I mean, and he's also a great guy to work with. It's fun to work with Danny. He's funny and clever, has lots of wit and all that. So it's always fun to be with him, around him in the studio. And the way I work, I write the songs on my own. I would say they're incomplete. It's like a blueprint of the song. I have most of it, but it's not polished. It's not the song. It's not what you hear on the radio. So I sit down with Danny, I play the song, what I have so far, and he just brings the magic, rearranges the song, changes some chords, add flavor, structure wise. And sometimes he will challenge me on the lyrics, like, I don't really get what you're trying to say, Robbie, and all that. So we work on the lyrics. Sometimes I work on my end, sometimes we work together. So he's really a co-writer because the music would not be what it is without Danny's input and talent. So he's a co-writer on everything, but he comes in after, kind of later down the road. There was a song where I only had the chorus, June and July, where he really, he was there for the verses and the melodies and the verses and everything. And it turned out great, great song.
It seems to me in the songwriting process and the process that you just walked me through that a songwriter has to have some humility to be guided maybe
Oh,
in a different direction at times. You've kind of got to throw out your ego and your pride out the door. Is that correct?
it's correct. I mean, it's a very fine line. Sometimes you have to stick to your ground and say, no, I really want this to be this way. But sometimes you got to open up and not, and just I have no ego. Maybe one of my problems in life, I don't have enough ego. And I don't have, the pretension of knowing everything. I'm here to learn. I keep learning every day, but I do like to invent stuff and create things that we've never heard or sounds that we've never heard. So of course I'm going to challenge and say, hey, what if we try something different and do that? And Danny's great with that, and he understands that I'm an artist and I want to try different things. So oftentimes we will go down the rabbit hole. He will go down the rabbit hole with me. It's like, okay, Robbie, we've tried it. Let's go back to what makes more sense, personally, what I feel it should be and all that. And I listen to him. I'm not God, and I'm here to learn. So it goes, sometimes I stick my ground and sometimes I just let go and let him do this magic. And it all works out at the end.
Well, it certainly does in this song. You pick the flowers, and it certainly comes through that there was tremendous collaboration, tremendous songwriting in the process as well. Now, it's my understanding, Robbie, that this single is really a prelude to an upcoming album. Can you tell us a little bit maybe about this album
Yes.
that's coming up? Don't give us too much information, but tell us a little bit.
Yes. I'm really excited about the album that's coming up. I'm gonna have, most of my recent singles are gonna be on there, and also some new music, unreleased music, never heard before, and I'm excited about that. I just finished one yesterday. That's really cool. I can't wait to record that one. It has a Jimmy Buffett vibe to it, Chesney, a little bit of Chesney, a little bit of Alan Jackson. I really love it. I'm looking forward to that. And also, I cut a cover of a classic staple in rock music, a song that was released 45 years ago, and it's rocking. I can't wait. But it's countrified. There's some fiddle, bunch of fiddles on it, and it's really cool. Danny had a great time cutting the guitars on those.
Well, I can't wait to hear the full thing once it's available. Now, what's the best way someone wants to learn about you and learn about your music? Maybe listen to this new single that you've got and support you. What's the best way to do that, Robbie? How can they do that?
Best way, of course, social media, very big. My social media handle is Robby Johnson Music, and Robbie with a Y, so Robby Johnson Music. That's very easy. On there, you're going to have links to the music, everything. Also, there's my website, robby-johnson.com, where you have music, videos, all that, bio, and everything. Very easy. Yeah, I want to say a huge thanks to you, Tony, for bringing light on my career in music. And also, people who watch, who stream, listen, request the song, share it, stream it, play it, whatever. I mean, I can release all the music. I can release music all day long, but if nobody connects with it and nobody shares it, then nothing really happens. So they're the rock stars. They make it happen, and I'm truly thankful for everything they do. And I can't wait to thank them in person at live shows. It's always a great time.
Absolutely. We'll talk about some of your upcoming events in just a moment. But I wanted to get this in because we discussed this last time. A lot of new listeners haven't heard of your story, but you've got a fascinating backstory. And I think it has to deal with grandparents and maybe working in a factory or something like that.
Yeah.
Just tell us about your backstory, your folks that encouraged you in your life to keep going.
Yeah. I mean, my grandparents played a major role in my youth. I would spend my summers at their house every long weekend. Also, the holidays would be at my grandparents' house. So I picked up a lot of things. My parents divorced. I was 5. So I didn't have really a male role. I had 3 older brothers, but they would beat the crap out of me. But, yeah. So my grandparents, they were role models. They would work multiple jobs to help and send money, send clothing to us, shoes and all that. They were great. In summer, they would take us on road trips with my aunt and and cousins. It was really, really great. And really, I mean, I fell in love with American culture at my grandparents' house, watching MTV, sitcoms, going to watch movies and all that. Yeah. So I guess, when I started, I wanted to make it in Nashville, to break out in Nashville. And it was a way for me to say, thank you so much. Thanks to the United States of America for everything they gave me, practically raised me, and my role models, Superman, all the superheroes and all that. And like I said, the sitcoms where, back then it was all about don't steal, don't lie, be a good person, be nice to your neighbor and all that. So yeah. So I it's a way for me to give back because I don't know where I'd be if it wasn't for that. So that's my background. And also my wife, who was a few years ago was my girlfriend. She would hear me because I had a totally different life. I was a sales rep on the road, technical sales rep, going from plant to plant, selling industrial products, listening to radio, never ever thinking I could be on the radio or interviewed on the radio and my songs play on the radio. But still, I'm a very creative guy coming from a poor, upbringing. You use your imagination to create a lot of things you can't afford and don't have. So very creative. I would write songs and all that. And my wife would hear me sing the songs in the shower, in the car. Every time I had, spare moment, I would just sing my own songs. It was like, hey, you got something. You should do something about this. I'm like, nah, I'm not a singer. I'm not an artist. But one year she passed a hat in the family, got enough money and gave me a Christmas gift, which was a session in a studio to cut one of my songs. And back then I thought it was the worst gift ever. Like, come on. Okay, okay, I'll do it. But went there, no apprehension. I didn't go there to cut a hit record. It was just brought my father-in-law with me. Let's just have a good time in the studio and just be done with this. So, and I started singing, and the guys in the studio, the players were like, wait a minute. This sounds like, Nashville. It sounds like what's on the radio. What are you doing here? You should really go to Nashville. And that's how it all started, and it snowballed. And moved to Nashville after a meeting with Jim Catino, who was the big A&R at Sony Music Nashville back then, who explained, there's thousands of artists that come to Nashville to make it, Robbie, and we can't help everybody. It's impossible. So we help those who are truly committed, where they're going to stick to this until it works. They're not here for a long weekend, for a couple months, for back and forth. They move here and they make it their plan A, plan B, plan C. Their only plan is to make it in the music business. And that's the artist that we support and help. So that's when we decided to move to Nashville. And I started my career in Nashville. My first single I ever released, everything was done in Nashville. And yeah, so it's really cool.
Well, it's a heartwarming story. It's an encouraging story about dedication, definitely on
Yeah.
your part. And Robbie, what's in terms of your schedule? I know you're a busy guy. You're trying to put out your music. What you got on your agenda for the coming months?
It's really working on the album and trying to. I've had some meetings the other day, a few weeks ago in Nashville. We're just working to get out there on the road, and creating those moments with the fans, because that's the best feeling ever. Is the live show with the band and the crew and the people out there singing your songs back at you and sharing the emotions and the energy. That's really awesome. So looking forward to that. And the album, of course. I can't wait for people to hear the whole thing.
Do you have any general, maybe a kind of a broad time frame when you think the album's going to be out there?
It's just that I keep, and it's funny because, with the distributor, it's always, well, you shouldn't, release an album with too many unreleased songs, because then, you can't bring focus on those songs. So you should just release singles and then the album. And then I keep writing new songs and new singles. So it always pushes the album back. So I'm thinking, I don't know. Later this year for sure. The album's coming out, but like I said, I'm writing new songs, new singles, and I'm like, do I want this song to be buried in an album and people just skip and never get a chance to really hear it? So that's what I'm thinking right now. I'm fighting over this.
Yeah. So, Robbie, I guess the best way to for folks to know when your music is coming out is simply to follow you on your social media platforms, and also go to robby-johnson.com, and that's robby-johnson.com. And I'm assuming that you've got your social media links on your website. Is that correct?
Yes, all the social media links are on the website.
Well, Robbie, again, this is an amazing single. You Pick the Flowers. I highly encourage folks to listen to it. Not only that, but support Robbie in his upcoming work and his past work as well. And go to his website and just check out what he's got there. Robbie, I can't thank you enough for coming on. I will ask you to hang on 30 seconds post-interview. But, man,
Sure.
Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much, Tony, for having me. And thanks to the watchers, listeners. Thank you so much, guys. You make a huge difference.